I like this deck. I don't love the deck because, as you saw last game, it can kind of stall out and fall apart. Keeping the Crescent Guardian feels like a mistake just because I don't have a way to activate its Nightfall. It's really good if you activate the Nightfall and you have the attack token on 3, which I do, but we don't. And really just right now, Taric is kind of our only win condition, so we're playing to that. Our alternative win condition is our 3 Usaris, and basically using Usari to just attack over the top and win the game that way.
They're out there.
I've now drawn 2 buff spells for Taric, and I'm going to want to use both buff spells on Taric. If he chooses to attack with his 2-1, we're not going to block with our 2-1 because Taric makes our 2-1 a more valuable body. There are more useful ways we can use our 2-1 in the future that will allow it to trade up into that sentry.
In Avarosa's name.
Alright, so now we're just going to attack with the 2-1 again. Our plan for next turn is to drop the Taric, and then the turn after that, probably Zenith Blade it. Drawing 2 Pale Cascades means we can look to use one of them defensively. We want to use Zenith Blade for the first buff, because our goal is going to be just making a unit big as soon as possible. We could have played the Pix there, but there was really no reason to, and we actually ended up benefiting it because we could choose to buff the Lunari Priestess, but we're just going to play the Taric. Taric's going to most likely give us a way to block the Lulu if he chooses to attack with her. We don't super want to... We don't want to trade... We don't love trading this away, but because our opponent is playing Ionia, the elusive keyword is just worth less than it would be against regions without reliable elusive units. Especially because the Lulu package includes quite a few decent elusive cards. We're just going to take the good trades. 3-1 into 3-3 is a good trade for us, even though, again, we're losing the elusive. Because this is burst, I'm going to start with the Zenith Blade. And we're going to copy that one to give the permanent buff and the Overwhelm keyword over to this 2-1. If he chooses to react to the attack, we'll also potentially use Pix to buff up our Taric. Pix and these Pale Cascades. Alright, we are definitely going to play the Pix because that gives us the opportunity with only one Pale Cascade instead of both to clear away this Trundle. He may choose to block the Navori Blade Scout, in which case we'll have a tough choice in terms of whether to kill his Trundle. And I think most likely it won't be necessary, but we'll see how he chooses to block. If he chooses to block at all, that is.
You got a problem?
Okay, so we can choose to remove his Trundle or remove his Lulu. The benefit to removing his Trundle is it keeps our Blade Scout alive, so we're going to go for that. We pick up a heal, which is really nice. This heal can now let us level up Taric at burst speed, which should be enough to protect him. Ooh, that's a really... My one concern with using both Pale Cascades was that I wouldn't draw a good card to copy next turn when I have the attack token back, but drawing another Taric kind of removes that concern. He's going to be able to buff up the Ashe to 4 health, unfortunately, but the Mountain Goat still represents a good blocker for the Lulu if he chooses to attack, because Ashe is going to freeze Taric just because he has the highest health. The strongest and weakest enemies go by attack first, health second, cost third, and after that it's random. It may be play order, I'm not completely certain, but interesting. Okay, so he thinks he's going to be able to kill Taric this round. Fortunately, we know that we have the Guiding Touch to level up Taric at burst speed. So when he attacks and commits to hitting Taric with his Ashe, we can just heal it.
To preserve beauty and protect all life.
And I don't think there's a good Freljord or Ionia combat trick that would give the extra 2 attack to this Ashe that she would need to clean up the Taric. So even though he had that caught out in the cold, I felt pretty good about my situation. Alright, so this turn, whatever Taric supports cannot die. We're just going to support up the Overwhelm unit, because we're also going to buff it. And we're going to have 2 very large invulnerable units, which are going to allow us to choose. We can Priestess for a big invoke, we can Pilfered Goods to take some of his cards. He has to block one of these. Just blocking the goat isn't enough because it's representing 13 damage. So he basically has to sacrifice both of his champions unless he has a combat trick of some kind. We're most likely going to save this gem just to play on Taric in 2 turns. If we draw another buff spell, we won't need to save it though. He goes for a Wild Claw. So, Lunari Priestess potentially finds us a game-winning card next turn. Pilfered Goods potentially finds us combat tricks to stay alive. I like the Priestess more because I just want to win the game as soon as possible. This looks like a card that says, you probably win the game. So we will take that one. The 7 mana spell, Celestial Inspiration, isn't good because I don't have other invoke methods. So I don't have a great way to keep it alive. He's going to kill our Taric. What he doesn't know is we should be able to just kill him over the top with the Destroyer. I don't particularly want to play it right away, just in case he has something like a quick spell to bump off the spell shield and then a caught out in the cold. I want to make him develop. I want to force him to develop before I show my win condition. Yeah, I'm going to gem just because, again, I'd be fine with him just passing and not killing the Taric, because I would just win from that spot. But I think it's very likely he needs to do something. Interesting. They changed the wording on Rimfangled Wolfed. Yeah, so he's going to Frostbite Taric, which is really a questionable choice because now the Rimfang Wolf will kill Taric. He's basically just bleeding that he has, yeah, another Frost effect for my other Overwhelm unit. Which actually means I'm gonna have to get this Misfortune down before, yeah. I'm gonna need to get this Misfortune down to deal 1 damage over the top before the Destroyer wins, because I wasted that gem earlier, unfortunately. I'm just gonna play the Destroyer here. It's just a nice, big minion. We like big minions. The other potential option for next turn is playing the Pilfered, is just explicitly bleeding like, hey, you're going to block the Destroyer with the Wildcat. Nothing I can do about that. It's going to end up... Okay, that's... That... Yeah, that... This now means I can't develop Misfortune at slow speed because he will still just block it with the Dragon's Protection. We can also potentially hope to just draw another Taric. We have 1 left in our deck because we shuffled it in. But this does feel like a pretty crucial turn. The other option is to just play Misfortune and... Yeah, I mean, if we play Misfortune, we're basically saying he has to use this Dragon's Protection on the Wild Claw right now, or he loses the game, which just opens it up for the Destroyer to kill his Ice Pillar. And then we're basically saying we're going to try to win in a few more turns. I don't love it, but it's kind of it's the situation that seeing, like, seeing these units has kind of led me to. We can't rely on Misfortune getting multiple attacks off. Just... Oh wait. He just chose not to play it. He needs... Yeah, he needs 2 freeze effects for this to work. Because the Destroyer will shake off the first one. So, I'm okay showing this attack and just seeing what he can do. I don't know if he forgot that this wasn't a burst speed spell. Why is he at -1 right? Oh, because the... I didn't realize this Love Tap would burn through 1 extra health to help push just that little bit of extra damage. Alright, he goes for a Battle Fury, which is his answer. He can block 1 more damage, so he's potentially alive at 2. We basically just have to steal something from his deck that helps us win the game now. We have a chance to draw an elusive unit and burn him out over the top, but I don't love relying on it. This Battle Fury is a pretty good draw to have. It'll potentially, if he decides to kill Misfortune with his wolf, it means we can protect her with the Battle Fury. We have mana for both of these next turns, so I'm fine playing the Double Trouble just to have 2 more blockers. Double Trouble potentially also gets us, yeah, nothing to win the game, but it could have. So we're really hoping he lets us develop this Frostbite this round, because Frostbiting that 15 attack unit would be nice. If he doesn't, look at that. He's going to let us develop it to heal his Nexus. He's got a very large troll unit with Challenger. Yeah. We can handle that with Battle Fury, but that loses us our win condition of it, essentially. Because our goal here... Yeah, I mean, he's going to develop that the 7 attack unit. So we're going to let him, and we're going to frostbite it. We're saving mana here for Battle Fury, but I don't want to use it. My goal for next round is to have enough units alive that I can attack with everything, and if he doesn't block one of the units, that I can just open attack with everything, and if any of the units go unblocked, they get Battle Fury and kill him. So, I have to just kind of let him take the trades as he wants, because we're going to get down 2 units here. I'm curious if Lifesteal applies to the Corsair attack. Alright. We are basically threatening that we've got quite a bit of damage. We're saying, hey, you need to block us. We're threatening exact lethal on the board right now. The fact that we have 2 buffs means that we can even potentially spread out our lethal over 2 units. Unfortunately, he's at too high of a life total, so we're just going to have to Battle Fury this unit. And right now, and we killed him with his own cards. The Bilgewater Special. Alright. That was a pretty close game, but we take those.